Trying to find a good grip on this. I'm using gloves today. And good morning. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and hopefully this is something you can hear. It's very loud this morning, and of course, it's a very not very good microphone, so I'm holding the little action cam in my gloved hand. But because it's gloved, my grip is going to move. And because my grip is going to move, it's going to make sounds. And because it's going to make sounds, those sounds are going to be louder than my voice. I don't know if they're going to be louder than that truck, because that's a damn loud truck. But that's okay. It is very, very cold this morning. In fact, it's below freezing, well below freezing. Well, not well below freezing. Freezing is, of course, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius. And it's several degrees Fahrenheit below 32, which would mean, you know, it's like 2 degrees minus 2 Celsius, something like that. And I am out walking. I left my home at about 5:40 a.m. This is roughly the one major path I take to walk to downtown, because I'm walking to downtown. I'm going to walk past the post office and such. I didn't get a chance to go walking yesterday. I discovered, through trial and error, that the horrible, horrible headache I had yesterday was not a migraine or even a stress headache. But when I was vlogging yesterday, my early start, I was talking about things, and then suddenly at the base of my neck, on the back of my skull, where my muscles connect up between my neck and my head, there was this huge crickety cracking that, you know, roughly only I could hear. So loud. But it was a couple of hours after that delayed reaction that the headache came on. And I was able to figure out hours afterward, just by touching back there, that all the muscles at the base of my skull, right where they'd gone crickety crack, were really super sore, super stressed, and just really super painful. And it was that. So pulling my head back as far as I could, and keeping my head as upright as possible, I was able to not get rid of my headache. Oh, it's so loud, and I'm so sorry. But I was able to negate a huge amount of the pain. So by the time I went to bed, while my head and my neck still hurt, it was nowhere near the level I had been at before. And thank goodness for that, because I was sick to my stomach from the pain in my head yesterday. And just coming downstairs and doing things, if I'd like, because I had gone and taken a furosemide, a Lasix, a diuretic tablet that morning. So I had to spend a lot of time walking downstairs so I could empty my bladder. And every single time I stood there, I'll let this vehicle go by. Every single time I stood there waiting for the stream to start, oh my God, I could feel each beat of my heart like a stab of a butcher knife into my skull. It was horrific the entire day. I felt like I was dying. I was having a stroke. But it was just the crickety-cracked muscles at the back of my head, at the base of my neck. When they went crickety-crack, holy smokes. I'm going to turn onto a side road soon, which isn't really a side road, but it's more of a side road than we're on right now. I'm also only going to record for 10 minutes now, and then maybe 10 minutes later, just total of 20 minutes in total. Doesn't need to be any longer than that. I don't go walkies as often as I should, which is kind of sad because I know that people like to watch and listen to these as whenever I do them. And I enjoy going on walkies. I walk as much as I can. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of it is my social anxieties. It's a lot easier. So loud. My apologies. I'm about to turn. Now, when I go walking at night, though, I wear my, well, it's not night, it's morning. I'm coming up on 6 a.m. It's morning time. But when I go walking, I wear black shoes, my dark jeans. I got a dark gray coat. I'm hard to see, but that's why I wear on my hip, I'm turning it down, I've got this flashlight that you can't see. It's this thing that you can't see. It is a flashlight, and I hook it onto my pants in my pocket, and that way everyone can see me. Now I've got to try and rehook it onto my pants pocket. But yes, it's largely my social anxieties. Yesterday, or the day before, I can't remember which, it had actually started to snow in the morning time. And I threw my coat on and I grabbed my action cam and I actually got to the front door and I threw it open and I was going to go outside and I was going to start recording the snow. And there were kids running around outside and having fun in the snow like kids should be doing. Because darn it, that's what snow is for. The snow is for kids to play in. That's what I did when I was a kid. That's what kids should be able to do now. I wish there was more snow. But I stood on the doorstep, and the sound of people outside, I ended up taking my coat back off, shutting the door, and going back upstairs instead. Social anxieties really, really suck. I'm trying my best not to be a shut-in, not to be agoraphobic, to go out and see people, to do things, and it's really, really, really difficult to actually get out and do things. When I go and interact with my therapist, my counselor, that takes a lot out of me, because I'm one-on-one with somebody I'm coming to know, but, a relative stranger for an hour. And while it's good to talk, it's just also at the same time, exhausting. But that's why a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and I don't want to be agoraphobic. I don't want to be a shut-in. I hate having social anxieties. So that's why I force myself up and out to do things. I can't always do it, like yesterday, or the day before, when I could not go and force myself to go outside. I hope people are having an opportunity to watch this and are enjoying. I know there's not a lot to see. It's very dark and the action cams are not the best in low light conditions, which, take a look. If this isn't a low light condition, I don't know what is. So that's a lot of fun, hoping that you're all going to even be able to watch this. I'm hoping my voice isn't too loud. I've been told that I have a very ASMR voice. Excuse me. So saying, he then begins to choke on his own phlegm. It's really weird, because I actually do have an ASMR response to some sounds. But not to the human voice. Not even a little bit, really. My ASMR type response is to like the sound of somebody rustling in a bag that's like, a purse, basically. Just rooting around, digging inside of a purse. Back when I was a kid, I can remember being in like 4th and 5th grade and lying down and listening to that sound and having feelings in my head and in my body that I did not understand, but I knew that I found very pleasurable. And so all my life, that sound it's just been a slowly decaying response, but at least it's been there. Well, this is a 10-minute file. I'm going to call this one for right now, so I'll see you on the flip side, everybody. Well, howdy, 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 we are back. The sun has risen a little bit, a tiny bit, not a whole lot, but I'm in a different part of town. I'm walking, of course. I mean, I've got feet, so I am walking as I travel along through downtown Shelton. Population, last census, less than 10,000 people, which is unusual for me because until I got married in the year 2002, I had spent my life, all but 4 years of it, living in Bellingham, Washington, 30 miles south of the Canadian border, home of, my chest just felt like someone punched my heart, so that was fun. But home of Western Washington University. It's a university town. Oh, it's a lot of people up there. It's quite large now. It was a tiny little place when I was born and growing up there. But it was big. Like close to 100,000 people when I left at the time, so it's probably very big now. It's been many, many years since I've even been able to visit. Over 10, so shucks. And now I live here. Because my wife was born in Blaine, Washington, which is right on the Canadian border. Literally, right on the Washington-Canadian border. To the point that, where we lived in our house, if you walked 3 blocks north, you were in what was called Peace Arch Park. Just a nice little park. So you'd go into the park, and it was nice, and you'd walk up, continue walking through the forest northward, and then after about another 2 blocks, you'd look around and realize you're in Canada now. It was that close to the Canadian border, you walked into Canada if you walked too far into the park. Which was fine. It was nice. I liked living there, even though it was tiny. Whew. But so now I'm living in Shelton. It's another port town. I've lived pretty much all my life, except during Air Force times, in like port towns, where Bellingham was right on Bellingham Bay. It was, well, it still is, and built on port traffic. It's even got a ferry, an Alaskan ferry there that you can go, and there's an Amtrak station. And then there's Blaine, which is a port town, and now I'm living in Shelton, which is a port town. So I've lived in port towns pretty much my entire life. When I was in the Air Force, of course, that was just, you went to wherever the Air Force base was. I spent my first year at Hurlburt Field, Florida, which was actually on the Eglin, and well, probably still is, the Eglin Air Force Base campus. Space actually rented out from Eglin to make another place, Hurlburt Field. And so I spent a year there in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, on the Panhandle. It was fun. I enjoyed that time. I bought a car there. I went to the malls. It was fun. I enjoyed living there. But then I spent 2 years over in Germany at Zembach Air Base, very, very close to the southwestern to Germany, but Trier, which when I was there in 1984, Trier was in the process of celebrating its 2,000th year of existence as a city. And during that time, the United States was busy crowing and trumpeting about our 200 years as a country. And I thought it was just so presumptuous of the United States to say, well, you know, we've been 200 years as a country. If you need help with any questions on democracy, just ask us. Yeah. And now look where we are. We've got a Russian installed president. We've got a Congress determined to protect him because it's party above everything, even above country. So, wow, what a difference. What a difference. Oh well, though, such is life. We all know my politics. I lean liberal. Because liberal politics is what has brought us things like weekend, 8-hour workdays, holidays, stuff like that. And conservative issues have brought us trickle-down theory, economic recession, and, well, how many school shootings have we had? Am I equating being a conservative with school shooting and murder? Draw your own conclusions. Especially since they have done studies, and they have found that those people that identify as conservative are the type of people that have very large amygdalas, which controls the fear response in the human brain. So isn't that special? Yep, you're controlled by fear. And being controlled by fear is the central tenet of the conservative platform. Such is life. Oh, I'm having social anxiety heebie-jeebies because there's people all around. And here I am walking around in public and talking not only to myself but to a red plastic box I'm holding in front of my face. Yeah, I feel good about this. Such is life. Hopefully you are able to see something. I sincerely hope. As stated from before, I have been called the Bob Ross of YouTube, oddly enough, and the Mr. Rogers of YouTube, which, trust me when I say I am no saint. I am broken and barely function in both. Well, I have a very strong moral and ethical compass though, so that part's not broken. But still, I am no saint. I am no horrible person either. We all live by projection. The way that we see ourselves and we see the world, we project onto others. You know, a cowardly person sees, the world through a cowardly lens. But he or she also sees everybody else as looking through the same lens. A cowardly person thinks that everybody is working from a position of cowardice. A proud person thinks everybody is proud and takes everything as that. A hopeful person looks at everybody else and sees them as hopeful. Well, my projection is largely that. Uh-oh, here we go, somebody's coming. Social anxieties for the win. Let's see. 8 minutes and 16 seconds, though. Good morning. Well, at least I got a response. Not a big response, but he said good morning. Now I'm trying to remember what I was talking about. I remember I was talking about ASMR and all that earlier. This is a nice bridge, nice creek. You can't really see the river. It's not a river, it's just a creek. But I'm almost over the bridge now. I mean, what's the difference between a river and a creek? I don't know. Size? Intent? Good question. Well, hey, I would, if this was a normal video, of course, do the whole, if you'll toss me a like and subscribe and visit my links down below, and, let's take it that I've done that, because it's a pain to say at the best of times, so. But if you could subscribe or donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron, that would be awesome. Well, still, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friends, and that is a very good thing. So you take care. figure out how to turn this off now.